Are you a technician who wants to set yourself apart? Then the Trusted Technician podcast is for you. I'm your host, Dr. Krista Fabric with SBE, and on this podcast, we will have top performing technicians and experienced HVAC coaches and trainers sharing their tips and strategies to help you be more successful. All right, Jeff, thanks so much for coming to talk to me today.
Yes, ma'am.
Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself for the audience listening in.
I'm Jeff Williams with Blazer Heating and Air. I've been in the industry about 12 years. I've been with SBE about 3 years now, and I did $1.4 million off my van last year.
Awesome, 1.4 million, that's you got the gold ribbon there. So, what's your favorite thing about being an HVAC service tech?
By far, my favorite thing about being a heating and air conditioning technician is to be able to provide for my family. I have a wife that stays at home with my 2 children.
Awesome.
She doesn't have to worry about working. I always know where my kids are at. I always know that they're safe with mom, so
That's awesome.
that's what I live for.
That's awesome. So how old are your kids?
2 and 4.
Oh, they're the
I had 2 under the age of 2.
Yeah, when you first started doing it. Yeah, wow. Yeah, that's mine are 8 and 10, so mine are past that really cute little phase. But
So when I actually came on to Blazer, I was working for a guy, great guy, loved working for him, loved everything I did, but it came to a point where my wife was actually pregnant. Had to do it for insurance and money purposes, and fortunately through the SBE process, I've succeeded.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So were you a service tech for the prior to Blazer? You were a service tech for a long time as well?
I was. I've been on the van about 10 years.
Okay. So talk to me a little bit about, obviously we know the SBE process, but like what has changed in how you, not just the company, but in how you approach the customer, how you approach your calls that...
Well, I've always, of course, been a very personable person whenever it comes to talking to people, but holding ourselves accountable through training and process and hearing everybody speak on behalf of how they have success. I'm not a guy trying to reinvent the wheel or anything. I'm just a guy trying to repeat a process that has proven to be successful and stay passionate about it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so, I mean, you already said your favorite thing about being a tech is that the ability for your wife to stay home, that you can take care of your family. But are there any kind of specific ways that you've seen, especially in the last year or so since from 2020 to 2021, you had a pretty big jump in revenue, right?
Yes, ma'am. I think I went from 820 to 1.4.
Okay. So, and then how about the year before that? Do you remember?
The year before that, I think, was at 750.
Okay. So you've been slowly creeping up. So as you've seen your income increase, what has that meant for you, for your family?
Our lives have changed. Every year, of course, my goal is always going to be to do better and provide more of a healthy lifestyle for my wife and kids. I'm looking at potentially sending my kids to private school, and with my success, I'm okay with that. I'm comfortable with that. My wife approaches me with anything that needs to be done for her, the kids, or the house, or anything. I'm okay with that. I'm comfortable with that because I feel confident that as long as I stick to the process and I'm passionate about my job, that I will see the results that I'm looking for.
Right. That's awesome. And so, like 5 years ago, if you had kids your age right now, 5 years ago.
5 years ago, that was whenever, in all reality, I had to make them life changes because my wife was just becoming pregnant. So to see where I am now as opposed to then is just amazing. I can remember being a young man and seeing my dad come up and all the hours that he worked. He worked 70, 80 hours a week working at Philip Morris and made wonderful money. I'm fortunate now to be working 40, 45 hours a week, making the same revenue. My dad was a very hard-working man, but he actually passed away at 50 years old because he worked his life away. I don't want to be that person. I want to enjoy my life and enjoy my job. Hopefully all together in one, if that can be possible.
You get to actually see your family, right?
Absolutely.
Get some time with them. That's awesome. That's what the industry. There's a lot of guys out there that are putting in 60, 70 plus hours. And they're not making the money you're making, and they're not seeing their family, right? So that's what we love to see is that change. But that being said, summertime is coming, and summertime gets really summertime gets really long, right? There's a grind. You got busy days. It gets exhausting. How do you keep up your motivation and your process or consistency when you're just when the calls just don't stop coming?
Well, I just am passionate about all of it in general. I mean, I keep bringing up my family. That's a big part of it. You gotta do what you gotta do to provide for them at the end of the day. But really, I enjoy the process of being able to take care of a customer the way that they should be taken care of, and the rewards that I get on the back end, whether it's positive reviews or people calling my office or just thanking me, calling me later in the evening time after I left their house 4 or 5 hours ago to re-thank me. I like to leave all my customers happy at the end of the day. I like to give them what they need, and not try to persuade them to do anything different. I really just want to provide the best service I can for all my customers.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, yeah, the money's nice, but the satisfaction of like, hey, I did a great job, and people telling you that, like, you did such a good job, that they go out of the way.
Yeah, it's amazing when you first go through the process, because people think about numbers and everything, but really in all reality, it's not about numbers, it's about comfort. And that's what we want to provide for all of our customers, is just make them as comfortable with us and their homes as possible.
You're living your tagline, bringing comfort home, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I know, it's a great tagline though, I love it. It fits you guys, it fits your culture too.
Yeah, we've had we got a great group of guys. It took us a while. I've watched Blazer grow from the time that I got here, not that they weren't successful then, but really to see where we have evolved. I have several really close friends of mine that call me and try to lean on me for advice here and there, and it's just so rewarding whenever I see these guys growing up. Like John last year, for instance, he hit my revenue goal that I had 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, that's a powerful thing. I've been doing this a long time. He was an installer.
Yeah.
He was relying solely on hourly pay. Had a conversation with me, and I was like, look, man, you already know how to do the work. You just got to learn the process, and I will help you learn that process. And he has learned it, and he's passionate about it, and due to that, he provides for his family as well.
Yeah, and that's some of the keys to success we always talk about, is having like that internal coach. And you're not necessarily officially a coach, but you obviously did help train him up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, my goal at the end of the day with all of the technicians that we have in Blazer, not just John or our better, top performing techs, is to still create conversation at least on a weekly basis throughout all of us, so we know what we're doing, we know how we can help, or if we can help to create this legitimate family-oriented business that just wants to succeed and go home to their families at the end of the day.
Yeah, and that's the theme I keep hearing, is that the culture, right? The team that you work with, like, it's not just you're not on an island by yourself. You could do an amazing job, but you probably wouldn't be motivated and be able to be as successful if you didn't have a great company that you work with too.
Without a doubt. I mean, from upper management, Jason supported me on every single call whenever I'm creating a proposal and trusting my judgment, or adding, additional facts to that judgment. From that all the way down to the installers that we have, and we pay a healthy amount of money, and we know that they're going to do the job right. I can't go and give a presentation based on what I'm going to do if I don't know how the performance is on the back end. But whenever I know that we have install crews that's doing their jobs accordingly, and we have managers going to follow up with those customers, and then we give them an extra tune-up afterwards just to verify that I could come back again and make sure that all of that worked good from start to finish of that process, that's when you really become passionate about your process and you achieve that next level of success. Is because I'm not just walking in and telling a customer that they're going to get this system. No, they're going to get it from the top technicians around installing it. We're going to take care of you. We're going to leave your home nice and neat, and we're going to be reliable for anything that happens to and from. We just want to put a new one in there for you and leave the house the way it was.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, that's why, I mean, those are all the reasons why Blazer as a whole has been so successful, right? The techs are the heart. You guys are the ones in the customer's home, but you have to have all that support around you and the follow through.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm fortunate enough to where the youngest technician we have has been doing installs on the install side, has been doing installs for 12 years.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So obviously, with that and proper management to make sure that he gets the job done accordingly, I know that I trust the process all the way through, even whenever I leave that customer's home, and I know that our installers are going to be entering.
That's awesome. You guys are lucky, especially in this day and age, right? It's hard to find good employees right now.
Absolutely, yeah. We're very fortunate to have an owner as well that, he does see the value in his employees and pays them accordingly. So, what he gains out of that is he has long-term employees. We don't have that revolving door that we have to worry about who's going to be on this job the next day, and we have a bulk of work that we can't fill, so because he does provide us with the lifestyle to be able to do the job accordingly.
Yeah, that's positive culture, supportive management, and then well-trained techs, right? Techs that are consistent and trained.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see the future of Blazer in the upcoming years. We've really grown productively over the past 3 years, but we had a new building coming up and some other things, so I'm really excited to see what we got in our future.
It is. I've been lucky to learn a lot about all that, so it's exciting to see. But so we know there's a lot of young guys out there or gals that, you know, maybe they don't know what they want to do. They don't look at the trades. Like, the trades are just not as popular anymore. So if you have somebody listening to this that's maybe thinking about HVAC, like, what's one piece of advice or one thing you'd want to tell them that they're either brand new in the career of HVAC or they're thinking about it?
So I'm just an average guy at the end of the day. I was a guy that whenever I was coming out of high school, I said, well, I guess I'll try to go to college because I don't know what I'm really going to do, right? And my dad was a machinist by trade. He did go and got his mechanical engineering degree at a later date, but you know, that's where he started, was in the trades. And he told me, he brought me an article, and basically the article stated at that time, which of course was 2009, that eventually tradesmen, because there's so little of them in today's time, are going to end up getting paid like doctors, so to speak.
Yeah.
So he was like, do you really think you want to go to college, you know? And I was like, maybe not. So I did. I went into the trades and I tried it out, and since then have had very good success with it. Yeah. And I do see the trades trending towards that because of the people that, you know, they're so hard to come by employees and everything. Yeah. So I'm very passionate about, you know, I mean, if college is good for you, great. But, you know, if you're looking for an alternate source of income and you want to provide for your family, again, like I said, I never thought 12 years ago I would have a wife staying at home with 2 kids and not have to worry about a bill. Yeah. You know, but here I am.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, so you encourage me to check it out and realize that there is a path in this industry that can mean you have a normal work-life balance with good pay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, very much so. Yeah, I'm really passionate about anybody going into the trades.
Yeah, that's awesome. So is there anything else I should have asked you that you would want to share to other techs listening in on this?
No, I think we got it covered for the most part.
Yeah. All right, thanks so much for your time today, Jeff.
Yes, ma'am.